Kenny, will you please circle the main chain? Okay, and how long is our main chain? 4. I'm talking to 10.
4.
Thank you. Now, what are the substituents that we have? What kind of substituents do we have? What are those things called? No? Okay, let's give someone else a chance. Okay, now, tell us what the names of the two substituents that we have are. They're both the same. What are they called? We're on letter A. Yeah. What are they called? No, I just want the names of the name of the substituent that we're using here.
2 and 3.
They're on 2 and 3, but what are the names of the substituents? No, what do we call a 1-carbon substituent? Methyl. There we go. Okay, so we're talking methyl. What carbons are the methyls on?
2 and 3.
Okay, if we have 2 substituents that are the same, what do we use as a prefix before we say the methyl? Good. Okay, so go ahead and write it. Yeah, start right underneath the A. There you go. Now, well, give yourself a little more room. Here, right down here. Okay, that's a dimethyl. Okay, and what carbons are the methyls on? What carbons are the methyls on? On 2 and 3. The 2 and 3 goes up front. There you go. Okay, so it's 2,3-dimethyl, and there's no A in methyl. Put your pen back in the chain tray for a minute. So can you erase this, and you can write it back in with that Y-A-L. Oh, this thing is very contrary sometimes. Y-L. Okay, so we have 2,3-dimethyl, and what's the length of the main chain? 4, which makes it what kind of a compound? Methyl, methane, ethyl. Yeah, butane. Okay, butane's the last word. Okay, that's like your surname. And we've got that little guy named. Okay, we're going to do letter B. And Ryan, will you circle the longest chain? No. Okay, so we got the wrong starting point. That would have given us the longest chain of only 6. And Brian's going to show us what he thinks the longest chain is. And he has nailed the longest chain. How many in the longest chain, Brian? 7. Okay. Now, have you decided who's number 1? Nope. Okay, so Manoli's going to tell us who's carbon 1 and why. Okay, good. Put a 1 under it. So we know where carbon number 1 is. Excellent. Okay, that end is number 1. Now, why is that end number 1?
That's where it starts.
Shh. No, it's not where it starts. That's not why it's number 1. Why is that end number 1 instead of the other end? Okay. Okay, so Joseph, tell us, why is number 1 going to be the first carbon?
Because it has a closer substituent of 3 instead of 4 right here.
Okay, great. Here, why don't you put that color down? And what you're saying is that this is carbon number 3 and this is carbon number 4. If we made this end number 1, we'd have our first substituent 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we make this end number 1, the first substituent is 1, 2, 3 in. Am I saying what you were trying to say? Okay, I'm just restating the same thing. All right, now let's give this guy a name. What are the names of our two substituents?
Methyl and ethyl.
Okay, so we have a methyl here, and we have an ethyl over here. And so now let's put those into a name. Who comes first, methyl or ethyl?
Ethyl. Ethyl.
Ethyl comes first, and what carbon is she on?
4.
4. Okay, so let's go ahead and name her. Uh-huh. So that's 4 ethyl. Okay, I'm going to capitalize it. That's okay. And what's our next one? 3 methyl. And the 7 carbon chain is heptane. Excellent. That's the name for letter B. Okay, why does ethyl come first? The reason for that is that we have to go alphabetical. And if we had di, tri, or tetra, we still go by the name of the substituent itself, the base name, not with the prefix. Okay? So, yeah, they're just plain alphabetical order. That's the only reason. And not a big deal, but we do like to have them in alphabetical order. That's the way the rules go. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do letter C now, and let's talk about what the longest chain is. So let's circle that. Okay, that makes the longest chain what? What name are we going to use for that? No. What you're doing is you're using the names of substituents. We're talking about main chain now. A 4-carbon chain would be what name? Okay, starts with a B. Butane. Very good. Okay, good. It's a butane. Now, what are the names of our substituents? No. Okay, Jackie, tell us what are the names of our substituents?
For this one?
Yeah.
It's
They both have the same name. What is that?
It's di. Isn't it
No,
dimethyl?
yeah. So what's the name of the substituent?
Butane.
No. Butane is the main
Okay.
chain. That's your
Oh,
longest
okay.
chain. What is the single name of one of those substituents?
Methyl.
Methyl. Good. Okay. 1 carbon sticking out. See, in each of these, we have 1 carbon sticking out of the main chain. It's outside the circle. Please drop the sound effects. And with 1 carbon sticking out, and there's 2 of them, now, what do we call it?
It's 2,3-methyl. Dimethyl.
There we go. Good. Okay. Go ahead and write it.
Doesn't matter what color?
No. Any color you want. Okay, so it's going to be 2, 3, dimethyl. Di because there's 2 of the same kind. 2 of the same kind. Dimethyl and yes, it is a butane. And butane, you could make a capital or lowercase, it wouldn't matter. You don't have to capitalize that. Very good. That's how we deal with number C. We're going to do letter C. So, let's find the longest chain first. All right, very good. We got the longest chain, and that is going to be what length?
Pentane.
And it's a 5-carbon chain, so it's pentane. Very good. Now, what are our substituents this time?
Methyl.
Methyl. And how many do we have?
2.
Okay, so we have 2 methyls. What end of this thing is going to be carbon number 1? And let's mark that. It's just half the end that you want to be number 1. Okay, so you want it to be on that end. Let's put a 1 right here underneath the carbon. Okay, so this is carbon number 1. That means that the methyls are on what 2 carbon numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 and 3.
Yeah. Okay, since there's 2, what are we going to use as a prefix for the methyl?
Dimethyl.
Good. Okay, go ahead and write the name. You can't just write dimethyl.
Oh.
You got to put the numbers out front. There you go. 2, 3, dimethyl. And what's the longest chain name?
Pentane.
Out of space. Oh, you made it. Very good. Okay, so that is, any questions on this one?